It's the first show of the year. Could you say words? You're paid to talk for a living.
And that's how we start the Fall Cup.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the Fall Cup. As Eagle, we want to get Eagle's look of disdain for how we approach this show, this circus act that we are, in a clown car, in a shipping container, in parts unknown, in an armpit of Montreal.
You had to blindfold me to get me here.
Exactly.
In a van, so I wouldn't know where this was.
You're not supposed to know where it is.
No.
Not supposed to know where it is. We don't want people coming after us here, knocking, banging on the door here. Welcome back to Fall Cup. It is the Fall Cup 2021. We are in Fall Cup mode. We had a successful spring season, and now we're on our way towards hopefully finishing off this year, fingers crossed, then entering the winter season in a few months from now as we get ready for what should be a fun 8 weeks of football coming up here, which is going to be different than normal, as we are going to have a different system of how it's going to be from a format perspective for Tier 1, 2, 3, and for co-ed. And because we don't have our man who is actually in the ATL with his wife, Eagle, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Hello.
Your voice is cracking. And
I had a wedding. I yelled a lot.
yeah, I'm sure. Let's go some shots! There you go. And so, because PC's in the ATL, we found someone else to replace him. Someone who's desperate to be part of the show, who's probably more into it than we all are. You know, like, I remember this guy's like, "Yeah, I remember hour 4, minute 15, 10 seconds in, you were talking about this." I'm like, no, PC, you remember that? No, I think I was high. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's welcome in Iggy Magnets, IVM. Iggy, how you been, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Don't be nervous, man.
Yeah, I'm a little fidgety. It's first time on the show.
Yeah, the first time on the show. Come on, Iggy.
It
please.
is.
Iggy,
Technically, it is.
It
In
is.
here,
As a
we've
caller.
called him annoyingly
but you
at
know,
like weird hours of the night.
we have, but you
I
know,
wasn't calling it audible.
but you know what's funny though, that in golf, people will call up the PGA event. Hey, listen, so and so botched the shot. He should be docked 3 strokes. That's who Iggy is. Iggy's the type of guy. Hey, listen, you guys haven't messed up here. We don't have a quarterback when there was a quarterback, right? Remember Vince Nardone? Was he throwing for them? Was he not throwing
Oh
for them?
yeah, I remember
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
that's what it came up. Yeah.
All right, so Fall Cup is here. We're going to recap, preview the season that will be for the Fall Cup.
We do have a message from Pease, from the other co-host who would normally be here from Atlanta. So I wanted to just play this for the audience. So we've introduced ourselves, but Pease wanted to say
Hey,
something
FPF
too.
Nation. Peace coming to you from Gainesville, Georgia. I'm out here on Lake Lanier, and I'm completely heartbroken because I'm missing the first week of calling the Audible of the fall season. Missed largely the first week of the fall season, and it's been a really tough time. I'm having trouble dealing with the pace of life out here. I got all this craft beer to drink, all the bourbon I got in the house, and it's been a really tough time. And all the peace and tranquility got me thinking, what is it that I miss most? Is it players complaining that we missed their stats? Or Mo not understanding any of my jokes? Referees blowing calls? Iggy, that traitor, replacing me on the show? Or Eagle yelling at me because I'm late once again to get to the studio? Well, I have a few more days to figure it out. And it really, really hurts that I can't be in Montreal with you all right now. So in the meantime, I'll be back in week 3 of Calling the Audible. Enjoy the show.
Wow. So if we can just zoom in on his headshot for us, please, Eagle, if you don't mind.
You want to zoom in on him?
Yeah, just have his headshot.
Hey,
right
FPF
there.
Nation.
All right.
Peace.
Look at this glow he has going on.
Yeah, he
he
does.
looks like a godly, earthly, like
He looks-
divine
He,
peace.
he looks like one of those people that goes door to door selling like religious books. Hi, are you
Jehovah Witness
Jehovah's Witnesses and
peace.
stuff? Hi, do you want to get yourself a Bible and talk about why God is great? That's how. And where he is, he's the deep South, right? So it kind of goes hand in hand with what he's doing right now in the South.
He should go advertise for FPF. though.
Exactly.
Hand out FPF handbooks. and-
Hi, you look like a 5-star recruit.
Okay.
We got a really good program for you up in Montreal that can come really enhance your skills. Come play Tier 1 with us. Look at that face,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm just waiting for like a bunch of swamp monsters to come out from that lake.
Or an eagle.
Yeah, because he's not far from Alabama and stuff. But anyway, so thank you, PZ, for those nice well wishes here as we are going to dive into it. So look, we have the Fall Cup here. It's going to be 8 weeks here. Eagle, any specifics that we need to inform our viewers and them trying to understand what's going to happen for these next 2 months?
So the big difference between our regular seasons and the Fall Cup is the tiers and the schedule. So normally we would have anywhere between 8 and 10 different divisions. For Fall Cup, we have 4 divisions. So the Co-Ed Cup, and then there's Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Just for, I guess, comparisons, normally Tier 1 is divisions 1 to 3, arguably maybe the upper end of 4, but usually it's like 1 to 3-ish in terms of caliber. Tier 2 is like 4A to 5A caliber, and then Tier 3 is like 5B down to 6 caliber-ish. Again, it varies a little bit. What happens is the schedule is divided into 3 rounds. You have the preliminary round of 4 games, the qualifying round of 4 games, and then the elimination playoffs. So right now, the 4 games you have in your schedule are the preliminary round. You got randomly assigned teams in your tier to play games with, and at the end of those 4 games, all the teams in your tier will be ranked top to bottom like we would normally do standings. We'll cut in half. Then there's going to be an upper group and a lower group where you play the next 4 games within that group, and that will determine the final seeding of the tier going into the playoff round, which is the eliminations, essentially.
So essentially you have 4 blind dates coming up in this round of games.
And then we figure out if you like pretzels or more of a nacho guy, if you just like beer
Long
or
walks,
wine,
or you like-
Netflix or Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
We match you up. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll match you up in the right groups afterwards. But also a reminder, Iggy brought this point up here for eligibility here. So we have 4 games required to be eligible to play in the deeper rounds of this tournament, correct?
Across both rounds. So you need 4 of your 8 games to be eligible. 50% is our target, so that has not changed.
And uniform reminder, right? Of course, we do have our uniforms in place. This has always been one of those headaches that we've had for many years. So the week 1 has been given for the grace period because, again, some teams may not have the uniforms in place. But as of week 2, scorekeepers have been informed that they must enforce the uniform policy of numbers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you have the right color of your team uniform. So if you're all wearing black and someone comes wearing green, that's not going to fly. And make sure that's all in order for you to play properly and get your games played and your stats accounted for, my friends.
Iggy's wearing a jersey right now from Sportiva, our official uniform supplier. You can get them from there. They're great quality and they're super cheap. You can just get a number on them, or you can get fancy designs. It's really up to you. If $20 is too much for you to get a nice jersey, 15. Go to Sport Experts, get a $5 T-shirt, and get it printed and laminated at Michael's or something. Right? I mean, it's really, really, really simple to do. Just look the same. And as a captain, this is my advice to you: get a spare. Put 2 zeros on it. Put the back of the name, write Scrub or Phil or whatever it is. You don't even put anything, just to throw at people that are going to come sub for you for a game.
Yeah.
God, Iggy, like you're really intense right now, man. Relax, bro. Like
No, I'm actually fine.
You look at you look at your brother. Oh yeah, listen, man. We're about to go out here and talk about Sportiva and stuff. God, man, just relax, man.
I'm chill.
Don't worry. Rob's not gonna
coffee.
kill you, bro.
It's the coffee.
Rob's not gonna kill you, bro. He might kill Eagle and I. Like, guys, listen, Iggy, he's a new guy to this whole thing, and you're making him feel uncomfortable here. And last but not least, of course, protocols. Guys, don't forget protocols. Going to these complexes, they will check your passports. So because we have games in Lachine, we have games in Saint Laurent, Laval, we're outdoors right now. We will move indoors soon enough. You must make sure you have your ID, and also your Vax code along with you so they can check it. And also just follow protocols to make it easier for all of us moving forward. All right, let's dive into it, guys. Let's go into now what we call Block A, as Eagle told us before in our Block A segment here. And let's talk about week 1 here, Iggs. The most surprising loss from week 1 was what in your mind?
Yeah, I've got 3 for you. We can talk about one of them. The first, Mangoose, 33 over KGP 32. Surprising because of a Tier 2 or Division C kind of team beating up on a Division 2 team. Or not beating up, but beat. We got Pincellos over Bruins, 37-33. I think surprising, maybe to Pincellos themselves not, because they're coming off a championship. And I have FSU, the old Melons team, beating up on Save the Turtles, 23-18. So those are 3 games that stood out to me as surprising losses. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think Save the Turtles, they've kind of slid since last season, spring season that we had, where they were under the radar, and then they kind of hit like a swoon, and then in the playoffs they were one and done. and losing to Oreos, I believe, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
And obviously, it is what it is with that situation here. But I look at that game and I say, okay, Turf Toes are kind of not stepping up in weight class, but Iggs, when we look at that right now, that's the team I'm watching out for from the long-term growth. Because if they do well in this Fall Cup,
Yeah.
I can see them going to a 5B. If
I would see them moving up into, let's say they started as if it was winter 6D, move to 6. If you can win the championship in 6, then move to 5B. I would say it just as a more natural progression. If they move to 5B immediately, and I mean, it's nothing wrong with it, but expect a 2-8, 1-9
But
season.
it's based off of how I think they'll do this year. If they run,
If they run
through this whole schedule of games,
That's why it's a surprising loss.
that's a surprising lot. Exactly. I mean,
Especially to a team like Mellons, they have some athletic guys.
right.
Played against them twice myself. They're still getting to know the idea of the game. Quarterback throws a bit of a wobbly ball with 1 out of every 2 passes. So that's why it's kind of a surprising loss to me for Save the Turf Toes.
Yeah, I just think that if they can, realistically, if they win a bowl game, great. If you don't win a bowl game, not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I think what this means for a team like this club in particular, if they go hypothetically 5-3, 6-2, all right, and they play whatever it is, and they end up winning a bowl game, I think it can give them the confidence to say, look, we're not going 6D. 6 is
No.
maybe a place, as you said before.
I think so.
Why don't we test ourselves in 5B and see where we stack?
I still think the more natural progression is go in 6. They would be a 6-4, 7-3 team in 6. They wouldn't go 9-1, 10-0.
That would defeat the purpose for them, though. They need to be that rugged 6-4 team.
Yeah,
go through those
yeah,
losses.
and I think that's where they would place in the winter season.
Yeah, I look at that Bruins Pincellos game, and that was on my list
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I saw a bit of it with Pincellos and the Bruins, and am I surprised? Yeah, I am. This is a Bruin team that we know very well. I
Yeah.
mean, look, they got Gab Wiseman. We know him very well. Rocco Cristiano, who played in this league before as a quarterback on this roster. I mean, in theory, this is a better roster in terms of how it's being constructed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at Pincellos, again, they're carrying over the momentum that they've garnered since Pease called them out as fake false kings. And not fake, because you're saying fake false. That means you're saying that they're real.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as false kings.
Fake
So, and look, you got to get props to Vince Romano. Like, he has stepped up in his production value because he was essentially a poor man's Tua Tagovailoa game manager, where he wouldn't, he would throw for 150 and they would win by 4 touchdowns, but not because of him. But now you're looking at his numbers and how his production has increased.
It's really
They're winning
impressive.
games is because of what he has brought as a quarterback for this team.
It's really impressive. I remember the days of what were their name? BDR. Was he part of the BDR franchise?
Eagle,
That is correct.
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yes, BDR.
I don't know. You're on your phone, Eagle.
Yes, I know.
Try to make it feel
I
uncomfortable.
can multitask. If I'm not listening.
BDR.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He started off winter 2019, 19 TDs, 15 picks. Not great. 800 yards in 8 games. Then progressed to 21-14 to 35-9. That's a big progression, and to a division, what was it? E?
Yeah.
Division E championship. And now he just beat the Division D1 champions in Bruins with an added Rocco Cristiano. This is really impressive. I think this is more surprising loss on Bruins than Save the Turf Toes.
Yeah, I'll
Can I throw in a counterpoint here?
no.
There's a counterpoint that Bruins didn't have Zach Zwirn on this roster, right?
Right.
So you basically swapped Rocco Cristiano for
Okay,
Zach Zwirn.
fine.
I'll take Zach over Rocco. No offense to
100%.
Rocco,
He's
but
got a better
Yeah.
rapport with Gab than Rocco does. But
which also explains why I think Romano got 6 touchdowns, because you put Zach on one side of the field and there goes half the field. So
for sure.
I guess.
So Joe Cano, this is a team, Chocolate Thunder, that lost to Arouche. Made a hash of the ending where they had tied it up 12-12.
Yeah, what happened?
So they tied it up down 12-6. They tied it up 12-12. 2 plays left. They go for the extra point convert. Picked off in the end zone. Arouche brings it out, and Cano gives Alex Romanov body check on the player from Arouche. Referee calls last man back, so they get the ball obviously for Arouche. They go for the extra point. They hit. Game's a wrap because 2 plays left. They don't have to play out the plays.
Yeah.
This is a physical, chippy game. this is a game that I think that Chocolate Thunder was not prepared for from a physicality perspective.
Well, and they lost on the convert?
On the convert,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
13-12. I don't think they were prepped for that. They're a good team, Chocolate Thunder, don't get me wrong. But the finesse was manhandled by the physical bravado of what Arush brought. Arush went 2 for 2 last night, or on Monday night, where they won their second game. So they're 2-0 right now through 4, which is pretty good for them. They're halfway through. But that was a complete mess and disaster. Chocolate Thunder should have won this game from the start, but they just couldn't get going, and they got caught.
I'm really surprised by 88 yards by Joe Cano, 2 TDs. This is the team stacked with Papic, Kyle Pedvis, Tim Horner. They love that deep ball. I don't recall Arush being that good defensively deep. I'm not sure if you guys seen
they run a very particular scheme that if you don't know how to beat it can be very frustrating. It's like a hybrid cover 2, cover 3, 4-1 all together, and they communicate really well in terms of patrolling.
They must have because
Joe didn't read it right.
Okay, yeah. So
Didn't read it right.
so yeah, I asked that in my article question. Is we haven't seen Joe Cano in a finals in like 1.5, 2 years now. This isn't a good start.
No, if you look at his numbers, it's been okay. I mean, go back even to the spring season. This was I know Nicky Papic was throwing for them under the Chocolate Thunder heading. But so in theory, Joe Cano has probably not thrown in over a year since the 2020 Fall Cup that we had. Yep. So it's going to take time to get back into rhythm.
And he struggled then, if I recall, playing in Collège Notre Dame.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Against Trojans. I recall a few games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So 7th rounders PMS, they rip apart their opponents.
Wait. Last thing about Arush.
Yes.
I have one complaint.
Where's the food, by the way?
Their opening hours are awful. They close at 7 o'clock. Who stops eating at 7 o'clock? Feed me La Majuns. I want them. I was going to get a box. I was going to get you the veggie ones. But get me a box. I want them so we can eat them on the show and promote it.
You know what? I was hoping we had them week 1 because Rob, the president, would watch this show and he'd be like, guys, like, what are you
You're eating while doing
guys,
the show.
come on, guys.
You're setting a bad example.
That's unprofessional.
For Iggy Magnets here.
Do you guys understand? Like, do you see ESPN eating? Yeah, they do. They had chicken parm during the NHL debut last week. Anyway, so we look at PMS. They rip apart their opponent, and the fact that they were phenomenal. I know Frankie Scalzo now the quarterback for them, and watch them play. Pretty decent start because they beat Lionhearts 40-7. I thought Scalzo looked pretty good. He had some twitchy moments at times with some of his throws, but that's going to come with the territory with him learning the position. But if they keep this team here, Riley Pinnacle, Miles Keller, Brad Evans now receiving, Craig Browning, it's a legit team that can run through tier 3 and become a force.
How did they get into tier?
They flipped the quarterback, right? Scalzo.
I get it. I get it that his offensive rating probably drops 5-6 points. How do you fit the rest of the team in? I guess it's 395 I had trouble creating a team.
But it's just being creative with your cap, right? You put Scalzo at quarterback.
394.3.
Yeah,
that's close.
It's being creative though, right? They got smart with what they did, and they got themselves a solid roster that will mask Scalzo's weaknesses because they have so many ballers on that team.
Yeah, at least I'm not seeing Jordan McInnes there. That would be.
Well, then it would be a question.
Yeah. Okay,
Inquiry
fine.
over there.
Fair enough.
And Brad Evans is playing as receiver and not quarterback, right. So that gives you a lot more cap.
Mr. Hawaiian shirt from what I've heard on calling the audible here.
Yeah, I don't think he's a big fan of that. Is he, Eagle?
I don't think so.
That's why we talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
So
anyway, I just think that you made the point though, Iggs, that this is a team that is loaded, and could be one of the favorites to win Tier 3.
Yeah, I mean the 40-7 victory over Lionhearts doesn't really tell me much. I could have predicted that from the get-go.
Really depends on what happens with the Lionhearts and their quarterback situation, right? The team's not bad, but I mean, without a QB, your 5 interceptions aren't going to win you games.
Yeah, it's not their normal quarterback from what I'm seeing.
We don't know for sure, though, right?
But we're not.
Yeah,
we're unsure.
First season, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in terms of part of my swag, they're a legitimate team for being in the money bracket. That's where that's where I see them ending up in the at the end of the 8 games that we play, is playing for money.
Well, I think they will be in that conversation.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know. We need to see a bigger sample size from Scalzo to say, is he the guy that's going to be the one that carries them into the money land and winning that money going in their favor.
Yeah, because he's going to be the one that, like you're saying, he's going to drop them out of it if ever, right?
It's based on him. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Blessed by the football gods coming through on the last play being Easy W at the death. They got lucky. They got simply lucky because Easy W outplayed them in all facets on offense and defense. In fact, they had him dead to rights when Bless went 4 and out. ECW had the ball back with less than 2 minutes left, give or take, and they couldn't move the ball. And then they turned it over. And the next thing you know, Bless comes back. They drive it down. Last play, Haraprasad finds James Langshaw front of the end zone on the left side for the game-winning touchdown.
He's a baller.
It's a wrap. And Jeremy White not happy because he knew he had them beaten. I think it was a hangover for Bless, given how they went through their spring season on a remarkable run, and playing ECW trap game almost cost them.
So let me get that straight. So Bless went 4 and out.
Yep.
ECW gets the ball with 2 minutes remaining.
And they go nowhere.
And they go 4 and out?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Jeremy's not going to be... Yeah, I can imagine he wasn't happy with that. When you have a chance to put a team like Blessed away with probably arguably the last possession of the game, depending on how you move the ball and play it out, you can't not move the ball and score. You shot yourself in the foot there because an easy W defense made Blessed go 4 and out is surprising enough. To try and do it twice in a row, or at least stop them from scoring twice in a row, impossible.
It's the NFL adage, right? If you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you can't kick field goals. You got to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
They had them. They forced the turnover on downs. All they had to do essentially was manage the clock, which they did.
Yeah.
But couldn't move the ball.
No, that's the Josh Allen driving.
Yeah,
on
and
fourth
the
down.
birthday boy Terry
Slipping.
Babylon, the Babylon Club, Terry Babelis. How old is Terry Babelis, by the way?
How old is he?
Yeah, you go look it up for us, please.
I mean, I don't know if I should be revealing personal information like that.
Well, why don't you have a
But it's
birthday,
public.
man?
You just said it's public.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
Maybe it is, maybe it
in
isn't.
his
Let's see.
30s.
So as you look it up there,
Yeah.
you say what? Oh,
we can put it on the poll.
okay, put it on the poll, please. We'll put the line at 32.
It's not on his Facebook profile, so I can't
okay.
tell you.
So I'm going to say under 32.
No, I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna. No, push. He's 32. I'm gonna say.
How about 32 and a half?
No, he's 32. If his birthday was yesterday, well, today.
Yeah, I'm going to go under.
I'll go exactly 32.
All right, so Eagle will find that out. You look it up in the public record books, please. You'll find it in Sante Quebec, I guess.
Or the FPF database.
Yeah,
no,
that's
we don't keep the date of birth.
Yeah,
But 4 sacks, right? That's
4 sacks.
That's where you're going.
4
with that.
sacks, and he had a huge day. Quietly, he went about with the 4 sacks.
Okay.
I think that really changed the game's dynamics in terms of how Jeremy White couldn't really do much. In fact, the last play before they had turned it over, ECW, Jeremy White was doing like a ski hill, slalom this, slalom that, right? And Babylon Club didn't give up, right? And he got the sack, and that cost the turnover on downs in favor for Bless. So I just think that he had a really good game, and if you look at his sack numbers now, Eagle, if you don't mind getting that up for us,
His career.
yeah, he's moving up in the numbers here, and he's entering. I think he must have over 50 plus sacks by now. I would imagine. with
You're
the
on
Babylon.
Stephen Harrison.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Terry
talking about-
Babelis, the
Oh,
Babylon
okay.
Club.
Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, you go find that up for right now.
His defense.
Yeah, the Babylon Club is.
He has 89 sacks.
So he's 11 away from a century. So
Wow.
See,
Well, and this is just regular season. There's tournaments.
So
18.
89. Well, if you count playoffs too, it's another 11.
so he's at 100 for his career.
He's at 100 plus another 18. So yeah, 118.
So he's on his way to Hall of Fame status at that point.
Ooh. What
What is the record book, by the way? I'm
Ryan
curious.
Reedy, I think. I think Reedy has 275. I think.
So we're thinking FPF records here.
Perhaps. So as
The
you
total sacks is 403.
I
mean,
apologize
Reedy's-
to Ryan Reedy. I
But
apologize.
he's getting there.
He's getting there. He's still far away though.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
But he's getting there in terms of the top 5, though. That's for sure. So I think he had a really influential game in that whole discussion of what he did. So I think he can really change games, and he saved Bless's behind a few times in that football game yesterday.
So I see that Maxime Boucher also had 4 sacks.
Yeah,
What made Terry Bavalis more impressive?
because he came at key times.
Okay. On key
moments.
downs?
Key downs.
Third
Key
down,
moments.
fourth down.
Exactly.
We're
Kill shots.
Scrambling around.
Kill
with
shot
Jeremy.
moments, and he came through big time. So
Correct.
I think he's going to be the guy to watch out for in terms of what they do.
Yeah.
So looking at tier 1, right, is there a clear favorite in your mind, or is there a team that will intrigue you in the opening round of games that we have lined up?
Favorite, it's hard not to go with Jean Smedzik, but Blessed. Watch out for Blessed. They already, I thought they had a Division C team that could have been over the cap for Division C last year, and they've just added more weapons in James Langshaw and Justin Lerner. I don't see Jordan or Isaiah Allard on the roster. But I like Jean Smedzik and Blessed as early candidate favorites.
Mangoose is my team I'm looking out for.
Really?
Yeah, I think Nick Schaefer. This is a team that had some tough losses last in the spring season. I beg your pardon.
They struggled.
They struggled because they had leads and they blew the leads. They had there was a few games I scored cap. They had
Yeah.
double-digit leads. They blew it, lost by 2 or 3 points. They had some close losses, but this is a team. Look, big win over KGP again.
Yeah.
Close win.
Yeah.
But if you look at their schedule, Apocalypse is a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
Urgence My Dick will be the tough one, and they'll play Apocalypse again. So that's twice they'll play Apocalypse. They could be 3-1 by the time it's all said and done
yeah,
here.
I can see a 3-1.
But I love how the team is built. Thomas Coutu has really built this team well enough here. He too, talk about pass rushers.
Yeah.
He had 3 sacks in that game against KGP the other night in Saint Laurent. And I just think from the construction of this roster, with what they've built with, they can definitely make some noise in terms of what they can be. I'm not saying they're going to be Urgence Medic, but they'll give them a run and they'll close that gap with Urgence Medic and everyone else with what they can do this season.
Well, already beating KGP is rather impressive. KGP with James Acker, they even added, I'm seeing here, Andrew Langbert. I'm not sure if it's a sub for the one game, but he played. Quasi, Brendan Parham, Gabe D'Amico's really good. Already just beating them, it's very impressive. Mangoose is Mangoose though. In terms of they don't, and I think I've heard this from Pease before, but I've seen it myself. They don't change their game plan. They regardless the season, regardless the opponents, it's a lot of 10 outs, a lot of 15 hooks on the sideline that Nick Schaefer can just drill it in to Thomas Coutu, usually doing that 15 hook. They don't adapt well though when a team has got them.
But in the case of yesterday, they didn't have to. They crushed
Sure.
it, and that's why I just think they're really intriguing because they can, if the football gods of the FPF world are on their side, those close losses that they endured last season will turn in favor for them. And again, I think from a realistic standpoint, I think 3 wins is reachable.
Yep. I don't disagree.
If they were able to get 4, I'd be shocked. But that's the team I'm watching out for and what they could do in this tier 1. And look, I think overall tier 1, we agree. Urgence Medic Eggs is the team to beat, but I think there's a lot more parity because there's no Braves, there's no Dan Lazaro-led team, there's no Kevin Wythe in this division. So now it's a little bit more open-ended.
It is.
What can happen?
Yeah, and that's why I think you asked the question, and it's a decent one to ask. I'm just going with the heavy favorite. I'll go with Urgence Medzik, and then my surprise. It's not a surprise, but my underdog, if you want to call it, they'll get mad at calling them underdogs, but Blessed.
Okay, so is there a team in tier 2 that dodged this division that you can say, yeah, they dodged Division 1 or tier 1? I beg your pardon. Because I feel like there are, and there's a lot of teams in tier 2 that could have maybe made the jump up and played in this division than where they are currently sitting right now.
Could have been Bruins, but I think they're fine. You feel like there's a team here? What, Hot Sauce Sports? Pease is gonna go to tier 1?
Like Arouche,
No.
this is a team that has some CFLers on the roster.
Oh,
Yeah, like Benoit Marion, who's a big monster, like 6'5", 260.
okay.
A team like Tough Lungs.
No.
You don't think so?
No, they're just. It's not that they can't. They're just a tier 2 team. They are a Division 4A, 5A team. Like Eagle explained that's kind of their bracket. I think they're well suited in tier 2.
Ravens, unfortunately, because they have Ursus Medic and Ravens.
Yeah.
But if there wasn't, I think they'd move up in terms of what they can be.
There's also a rebuilt Ravens roster
Yeah.
to some degree, right? Like
Yeah.
not the same team that was in the championship finals.
Oh, they added the Ledoux brothers
Yeah.
from Dilly Dilly. Yeah.
Like Chocolate Thunder.
I mean, they put up
Yeah.
12 points in their first game. Joe
But-
Cano. Okay, also, are we ever going to see a Joe Cano, Kyle Pedvis, Tim Horner type of team go above Division 4? Unlikely.
They could have been in Division. Well, they were in Division C. Where they? No, they weren't. That's a team that I think could have been in tier 1. They have the athletes to do it. They have the gunpowder and with the arm of Joe Cano. If there's one team you're gonna ask me, fine. I think tier 2 is well suited with all the teams. If I have to answer one, I'd say Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, I think Thunder could have been the team to move up. I really thought they could have moved up, but they opt to be Division Dodgers, as Pease would say normally at this time of year.
Not Santar?
No,
They struggled.
No, they got cracked
Yeah.
towards the end of the
Yeah.
spring season. They're nowhere near reliable to be up in there. Okay, so we look at it right now. Overrated, underrated, tier 2, 10 words or less here. Iggs. We go team by team. Eagle, you throw a team at us. We got to give it in 10 words or less if they're overrated or underrated. So we'll go from top to bottom. Here we go.
Let's go with Glow Gang.
I'll go first. Overrated, no quarterback. Need to figure out who's going to throw the football.
They're not 1-0. They tied.
I mean, I'm counting it.
Okay.
That's it? That's all I
No,
got?
all the teams, man. Yeah, 10 words or less, bro.
All right, we're doing random orders. KGP Raw.
Underrated. Lots of Division 2 talent.
Mean Machine.
Underrated. Love their core. They bring back some past players to help out.
We'll do Ravens because we also did Glow Gang with the tie.
Overrated. Quarterback not strong enough for tier 2 defenses.
Well, I'll give you a Roosh to finish your thought.
Overrated. Muscular men with no talent to work with.
Iggy, I'll give you yours. Tough Lungs.
Underrated. Building FPF experience finally paying off.
Mo, Pinchellos.
You know what? If we call it Pease, you know what he would say. You know he would say. I will say underrated. Have yet to scratch the surface with that defense of theirs. Monsters.
And Iggy, you get the last 1-0 team. Technically 2-0 if you kind of Roosh or the ties. Santar.
For tier 2. Underrated.
Yeah, this guy's really struggling out here with this 10 words or less.
It's first time on the show.
I don't care.
No mercy. Yeah, underrated. One word.
well.
All right.
I'll
Great
leave it at
analysis
one
over
word.
Great analysis there, Yix.
Okay.
All right, let's go through the rest, man. We'll roll through this here.
You want to do even the 0-1
It's
teams?
just the 1-0.
Oh, do the 1-0s then. We'll keep the 1-0s.
We
for
just
now.
did. I did
We
the
did.
1-0s.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll keep it for now. We'll keep it like that, though. But anyway, so Egg struggling on the overrated, underrated portion of this thing here. Look, we got co-ed, which we'll talk about momentarily in a few minutes here. Look, Tier 3, of the 1-0 teams in Tier 3, who do you have high hopes for going into this Fall Cup? Because we spoke about it before, Save the Turf Tolls, that, hey, maybe this could be the springboard for them to move up to a higher winter division. But who do you like coming in that you think can really thrive and survive?
If now I know the struggles of the Eric, Mark, and Jordan Stahl, that the jobs that you guys do. Who's gonna do well? Like we talked about, part of my swag. There's 7th rounders have some experience from Winter 2020 with Jafar at center. Fine, I'll give them a shot to make it to the money bracket. Warriors definitely going to do very well in this with Mitch Fergenbaum coming back full-time position with the Ziegler, Rabinovich trio. They are going to make it to the money bracket, or at least they're one of the favorites. Lockdown?
Question mark?
Yeah. Eagle, are you once again? What's going on here? Why are you in tier 3?
It's a long story, but it's a brand new quarterback who has never played football before, but has a cannon of an arm. So we'll see if we can make it work.
So Buccaneers not the quarterback.
Buccaneer is not the quarterback.
But he's on your team.
He's on the roster, but
Who's
he's not the quarterback. His name is Mike Daddario.
Tumbleweed. Insert tumbleweed.
Crickets. Do you have a cricket noise?
Probably. I like Moe's though. That's kind of not bad actually.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, so
Can I throw my little dark horse team into here?
go for it.
Free agent squad. Did anyone else expect a bunch of individual registrations to put a team together as like a mismatch and win their first game 24-6? Did anyone have that on paper?
Against Trailer Park Boys.
Exactly.
An experienced team with like 3-4 seasons under their belt. Not just a new team. No, I know. That one was very surprising as well. But are they a contender for tier 3?
I wouldn't think they would be a contender for a game.
Okay,
Fair
look.
enough.
All right, so look, you got 2-inch gangs coming up. Stormers and Killer Rays.
Those are wins, potentially.
Well, they'll beat Killer Rays, who tied 2-inch gang, so 3-0. Stormers, who's this roster? Oh, it's these guys.
Oh, those guys.
From last fall.
12 points in game 1 against Toon Squad. I mean,
That's the team I'm watching out for is Toon Squad.
yeah, you think?
Because
13 points in week 1, they're a team to look out for?
Well, here
Chaz Presser at quarterback.
Chaz, our boy,
It's
Chaz
not
Presser.
Ross Gardner.
Garner Ross.
Ross Gardner. It could be first
So,
name, last name.
It's like a friend's name, Garner Ross.
Yeah.
But no, the reason why I say this is because we spoke about them last year, last year's Fall Cup, that they got off to a flyer, did well, and now they didn't play in the spring season this past year.
Mm-hmm.
So here they are back in the scene of the crime. They're not going to be under the radar anymore, Iggs, but they could definitely make a move up the ranks where they could win 2 or 3 games and move on to the upper bowl bracket. And
They don't want to.
Well,
I have sources telling me they don't. They'd rather not.
Yeah,
they
but-
did it last year. They were 3-1 after 4 games.
And they thought it was easy street.
They were like, oh, this FPF men's league thing
Men's.
is pretty easy. Well, what? They were a junior team.
We're high schoolers, man.
They were an FPF junior team. They're like, oh, we've got this thing figured out. And then went 0-4, I believe, in the in the qualification.
So the team
round.
they might have problems with Tim Brandy, which is guys that have played in this league before.
Yeah,
That's the team that they might have. Trailer Park Boys is very tough. So they could be
Yeah.
2-2 at best, I think.
fine at best. Fine. Yeah.
Which is okay. I don't think it's a problem to be 2-2 at that moment. But if they're gonna make the move, that's the team I'm watching out for, Eags and IVM, that they could be if they do get that third win. Well, there goes their rankings for ensuing seasons of whatever they play next season down the road.
Chaz, it's playing quarterback in your first season.
Do you trust them?
He can throw a ball. He can throw a football.
You
That
can
does-
throw a football.
that-
Mo can throw a football.
It does
Mo, do you
not-
want to look up your stats?
I'm all right.
The running gag here of Mo, for first-time listeners, the running gag of Mo not doing well as a quarterback. Like
Yeah,
very.
I had an injured finger, and they're ripping on
okay.
me.
Oh,
for it.
yeah. Blame the finger.
I've heard of.
The
I've heard
finger
this.
is not healed. Look at the finger.
I've heard this about Mo. The
The
excuses
finger is not healed.
that like he could win like a race, but if it's not the right weather conditions, if there's just an inch of wind like blowing against him, I've heard this before that he'll use that as an excuse.
You hang out with Rob too much, huh?
Finger just wasn't the same.
Has been the
Couldn't
same.
grip a ball properly.
I couldn't look. I can't even look at my finger, man. I can't even move it.
So Chaz Presser at first-year quarterback. Again, one thing to throw a football, another thing to read defenses, post snap. He's gonna maybe make a lot of pre-snap reads.
Yeah.
Think it's there and just either not make the pass or have it just tipped, force balls into places where he thinks is his offense. Because he has good receivers. He has, I believe, Ben Arnovitz. I've seen this kid make one-handed catches. He's going to try and force maybe the ball a little too much to them. And that's just, it's not going to be good enough to make the higher upper bracket.
All right, looking at the co-ed, as we have that lined up, of course, there was a bit of an issue on the website. So we'll look at
I fixed it. Blame Rob.
Let's look at the Geratron 4000, our nice 2K TV here, not the 4K TV that we have here at the FPF Studios. So we got 5 teams in this division here, as I learned about this on the fly, because, again, it was down for the entire day, and I had no idea.
Bit of a smaller division.
Small division. So we're
Tier 1.
Tier 1. So we're banking on the fact that we saw a successful co-ed spring season.
Terry Babalas turned 28, by the way.
28, so I was right, man.
He's
Under 32.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. He's younger than me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Is he better than you?
The Babylon Club.
Oh,
man.
on defense, and sacking a quarterback.
The Babylon
definitely.
Club, man.
Is he
That's
better
the way
than
to go.
Mo?
I don't know. I've never seen Mo play. I've just seen the
You know what? Here, I'm going to tell you something right now, okay? I want you to go to Leo Gervais, the referee of this league, head referee,
Yeah, I know Leo.
and ask him, Leo, what is the greatest play ever in FPF history?
And he's going to reference you.
Guarantee you.
Oh, it's a guarantee.
Guarantee you. How about this? Okay, we're gonna put a bet on this. Okay, we're gonna put a bet on this.
Yeah, I want to bet because I'll guarantee it's not going to be the play you're
I
referring
guarantee you.
to.
I swear to God. Okay, so we're gonna put what, Arush for next week.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Arush next week.
Assuming you're here.
Oh, right. I might.
Oh
be
no,
in
no,
St.
you
Louis.
transfer the money to us. We can buy it. No problem. So the bet is, you must go to Leo Gervais. I won't say anything to Leo. You have my word. I won't say anything to Leo.
Yeah.
Leo, I need to ask you a question. What is the greatest play ever in FPF history?
I'll phrase it exactly like that.
And he will, without hesitation.
No, I'm gonna say he's gonna reference some Division 1 Kevin Wyeth plays.
No, you want to call him up now?
No.
Call him up now, please.
No.
Please.
No. One, I don't have his number.
I can give you the number right now.
What if he doesn't answer?
He's gonna answer. He's gonna answer.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, send it to me. I'll do it. Let's do it.
We're gonna do it right now because this,
So-
this is how the show works.
So I'll comment a little bit on co-ed while we do that.
Yeah. So anyway, so co-ed coming off
Yeah.
the season out of West for spring, we all thought it was successful for Tier 1, Tier 2.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit less this year for the Fall Cup. What we have 5 teams here, but
Yeah.
what could we expect here? Kiss My End Zone is a team that we all recognize.
Yeah.
Y is a team that we do recognize here, but are we going to see a runaway with Kiss My End Zone being
No.
the favorites?
No, we're not. I say we because I'm on the team. We're not the favorites. Kiss My End Zone is not the favorite. I'd say it's easy fun with Jeremy White and company. They demolished The Rock with Alex Laroche on that roster. 50 points. It's a bit ridiculous. Jeremy White, C.O. Leving, JC Fadlan. I'm not sure if they've added some new girls here that we haven't seen play FPF. I'm not sure if they have any other flag experience. Maria, Rosalie, Annabelle, and Camille Garepi. Potentially Georges Garepi's sister, cousin.
Can't confirm that. I don't know. I'm not sure
I
about
don't
that.
know. But if it's an inch of or 10% of the talent of Georges Garepi, wow, he's done a well job recruiting. A very important aspect of co-ed, which is always the fact that you need 2 girls on the field at all times. You need good women to play on your team. So it looks like, from at least statistically, like Maria, 3 out of 4 receptions and targets for a touchdown. Rosalie, 2 out of 4. Annabelle, 1 out of 3, and Camille, 1 out of 2, combining for around 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that's serviceable football from at least offensively from them, and 1 interception from Rosalie. So nice.
Like I
nice
just wonder
contributions.
we had some very good female quarterbacks, and we don't have that
Mm-hmm.
this year. Sarah Parker being one of them, not in this league. Marie-Eve Girard not there as
Vanessa
well.
Beery.
Vanessa Beery not
Yeah.
here. So I wonder. I hope. I think for winter we'll have them back. But I just think that what makes this league even more special is that the female talent can play that important position
Yeah.
and excel and dominate guys. And I think That's a stepping stone for these young ladies to use. Hey, we can compete in this league and play in higher division. So I hope to see a female representation for the quarterback.
Well, there's actually almost an entirely female team, The Rock. So we do have Caroline Menard playing quarterback. So I'm very intrigued, very interested to see how she does this season. The Rock, of course, being Alex Laroche. Seems like he's a team captain there, leading the way. Otherwise, an entire female roster. So that's going to be interesting to see.
All right. Are we getting Leo Gervais on this now?
Let's see if we can reach him right
All
now.
right, here we go.
Who's asking the question? You or me?
Mo.
You can ask him. You can ask him.
He said, Mo, you're saying, what's the greatest play in FPF history?
Greatest play ever in FPF history.
Is he watching the Habs game? Is he?
No, he's not a Habs fan.
You're deciding for him.
I know he's not. Okay, so you don't get a hold of.
You have reached the voicemail box.
No, we're not leaving him a voicemail.
No, it's unfortunate.
Oh, FPF politics, huh? Is that what I've?
Perhaps. Okay, so anyway, maybe we'll try him again in 10 minutes. But the point is this: when you see him,
Yep, I'll ask him.
Leo, what is the greatest play ever in FPF history?
I have to. I'm gonna record it too.
Yeah, exactly. You put it on your video phone, and Arush is coming by our way. Eagle, make sure we order double the amount of Arush for next week.
I already know what we're ordering. Don't worry.
Okay. Perfect then. All right, let's roll into Block C. All right, so advice time, Eagle. We know we have a lot of teams in here. I saw a team in the Demons, Tier 3, that kind of got walloped a little bit yesterday, learning the ropes. So I'll ask you, Eagle, and even you, IVM, some food for thought for these new teams coming into FPF, trying to adapt into the deep sea world of the FPF waters.
So I have a few tips. I'm going to start with general roster tips. If you have 12 guys on your team, make sure everyone knows what their role is, because if someone's playing offense but they're better on defense, if someone's playing two-way but maybe they should only play one way, make sure you have that established with your entire team so you know what your job is, what you're there for, etc. Next, as an offense, halfbacks or I formations, don't do it. Just don't.
Too gimmicky for FPF and in general flag. And if the teams that use it effectively are fairly advanced.
Yeah. Also on offense, I've seen a lot of starting quarterbacks panic in the pocket with pressure from the rusher and start to run to the side and throw it on the run, especially throw it cross body. You're asking for trouble. Get used to the time that you have between the rusher coming at you with the ball, handling it, and throwing it, and design plays specifically for that. If you're going to design rollouts, give yourself windows, right? You have to design the play to figure out when you're going to throw and rolling, not panic and throw crossbody. That's going to have pick sixes going the other direction for sure. Anything for offense specifically?
Well, it's just adding on to what you're saying. Ignore the rusher if you're the quarterback. Ignore them. Well, seriously, because if you start, I even did it in my game. I'm quarterbacking again, and on one specific play, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make a little move on him. I got sacked. Just ignore the rusher, and if you are again designing rollout plays, like I think what you were trying to say is have three layered outs. Do a 3 out, do an 8 out, do a 12 out, and roll out that way. So that's kind of what you're referring to. Keep it simple on offense. All hooks is not a bad play. Even as you're driving the field, all hooks is not necessarily the first play of the game and the first play of the half. You can use it in the middle of the field. So don't start going too complex. Even like you said, adding a halfback and rollouts, and just keep it simple. Anything else offensively?
Yeah, I got one. Play sheets.
Yeah.
Play sheets.
Yeah.
Guys, there's no need for play sheets because you're not going to go through these plays. You have a 1 hour game, and you have like 45 plays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely not a play sheet with 45 plays, but a play sheet with 5 plays for offense and 2 or 3 for the red zone and extra points.
Yeah.
So like an 8 play.
At the starting point. I mean, as you get more experience or as you start seeing things, you can change stuff around. Like, okay, we're going to stretch this, hook into a go, or, a deep in is going to turn into a short in instead, or move stuff around. Like, no problem there.
Yeah, I think you have to keep it simple. Ask around. I mean, you see other teams playing, ask. Don't be shy.
So I would say stick around after your games. Take a look at what other teams are doing. There's content. There's a lot of FPF content and media content. There are games of the week that are very high quality.
We have bird's eye finals. You can literally design the plays they're running.
That's it. So we have live broadcasting of our finals. Just take a look at and not only is it just a live broadcast of finals, you're watching the teams that made it to the finals. Like, these are the best of the best what the divisions had to offer.
Well,
so
I digress.
Well, clearly something had to
I
do.
digress.
Well, which team?
It's been a while since Mo made the finals, so he's forgotten what that's like.
We've seen some teams that had no business being in the finals, and they get wrecked in the finals.
Fine. Then take a look at the score. If it's a 40-0 win, take a look at the team that won, that scored the 40 points.
Exactly.
Last tip for offenses: get a snapper who can snap. The faster the ball gets into your quarterback's hands, the more time you have to develop a play. If it takes forever, they're waiting for the ball. They have to handle the ball. Now that rusher we were talking about is suddenly a problem,
and their
right?
eyes are off the field. They don't know where everyone's lining up at that point.
So definitely practice snapping and get a scrimmage game. Even if it's mid-season, try and get a scrimmage game. It's still nice enough outside to play outside for free without renting a field. Scrimmage with teams. Ask on our FPF Facebook group. Look out for, hey, do you want to scrimmage? For case in point, I scrimmaged against a new team in FPF. Save a horse. Don't ask me. I didn't ask them saving a horse. No. They did
Maybe they just don't like glue.
Horse?
Maybe.
Sure. They did things in the scrimmage game, which would have been very terrible things to do in the first game. Pitching it, lateraling it backwards.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Boy, no laterals, people.
They were like, so we're about to punt you the ball, physically punt it. We're like, no,
don't
just
do that.
don't do
Well,
that.
okay, how about this? Read the rule book. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah,
Start.
exactly.
Start. So anyway, there are
Exactly.
ideas, tips.
There you go.
Ask around. Don't be afraid to ask. But these are small little tips that can help you grow in this league.
And then defense, you're likely going to end up playing some sort of man coverage to start off with because it's easy. You pick someone, you run after
This
them.
team played man
You're going
against
to
us.
learn zone coverage eventually. The sooner you learn it, the more flexibility you're going to have in your defense and situational calls. Offensive scheme pre-snap as much as you can. The more time the offense has to figure out what you're doing, the more time they have to read it and make a decision. So if you can mask it, if you can show man and play zone, if you can show a zone but then actually run a different zone, for example, you can really confuse people. Start off with just that as a basics, and then eventually you can figure out, shooting and moving guys around and undercutting things. But just, that would say your starting point. Understand what zones actually are. It's not standing in turf and waiting for people.
Of course not.
No, covering
Well,
grass. Yeah.
you say that. Some people will do that. I'm responsible for this square. So I'm going to stand in the middle of the square, and when the ball's thrown, I'm going to go where the ball was thrown. That's not how you play zone.
No, you got to be aware of your surroundings and kind of like egg them on and kind of bait the quarterback into your
And
zone.
communicate. Hand guys off,
Yeah,
right? If
for
a guy runs
drags.
past you, say deep. If he runs to your left, then you're on the outside. Say in, right? Let people know people are coming into their spots.
And anticipate. Anticipate. As Eagle said, if a guy's running a slant in, he's gonna run a slant in, but hey, that slot might be running an out. So anticipate that there could be a route coming your way if it's going away from you from your initial read. So
Last tip for defense is the rusher. First off, line up properly. That's a good one. Second, if you're going to run full speed at a guy and you miss, your defense is dead. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Be smart about when you're going to go full speed. And probably the biggest thing that people don't realize, most of the time you want to rush a quarterback on their strong side. So if it's a right-handed quarterback, you rush him on your defensive left, their offensive right. So if he is going to roll out, he has to roll against the direction he wants to throw. Aiming for left-handed quarterbacks, rush from your right, their left, so you flush them opposite side. It really hinders their ability to gain yards in the way they would want to naturally take off and potentially throw downfield on the run.
Yeah, you would need a fairly experienced quarterback to start pivoting and doing good.
to set the footwork
having
and
good
everything, right?
footwork.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not easy
easy
at all.
Yeah.
all right, let's go into the last segment here. Let's talk about polar opposites that we have lined up. Eagle and Iggy came up with this idea. So let's roll through this here. Polar opposites.
Do you know why it's polar
I
opposites?
have no idea. I'm just.
Are
Going
you
with the
serious?
Flow. I just went with the flow of things.
What's my FPF nickname?
IVM?
No, the other one.
Magneto?
Yeah, Iggy Magnets is what we call him. And magnets either attract or repel.
Oh,
They're
right.
polar. So
Polar opposites.
Come on, Mo.
Get it?
Thanks, nerds.
Jesus.
Thanks, nerds. Okay, wow. I became a nerd for like 10 seconds right now.
Okay. That's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Isn't like the thing about like I don't know, the Big Bang Theory was that it made the nerd cool.
I can see
Most
you
just
guys-
jealous of our
I can
intelligence.
see you guys are really cool, cool lads over here. We're real cool over here.
Yeah, we did 4th grade science, unlike someone in this room.
Yeah, look at you guys. Still virgins. All right, let's dive into it then. Polar opposites. Here we go.
So the thought we had for this particular game is, Mo, you're going to pick a tier and you're going to pick a team, and that is going to be your team. And Iggy is going to specifically plot against you by picking another team, which is a bad matchup for the team that you have picked. All right.
Okay, so it could be, for example, we'll take random teams. I'm saying as a hypothetical. I pick infantry, and Iggy says the blessed from spring season.
exactly, yeah,
And that's
because
how we
they
go.
have their number because of whatever the reason is.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So let's go with tier. Let's go with co-ed actually, since we're already in co-ed here. So Mo, you have your 5 teams: Kiss My End Zone, Easy Fun, Y&Y, La Sect, and The Rock. Who is your contender for this gladiator battle with Iggy?
Kiss my end zone.
Kiss My End Zone. All right.
So
So Iggy, pick your poison, literally.
yeah, it's gonna be easy fun. It's no fun covering Jeremy White. Although we have the defense, well, Pease will obviously not be playing defense. He doesn't believe in
I
it.
hope not.
We are going to struggle covering and shooting on Jeremy White. We don't have a Terry Babelis on our team.
Babylon Club.
Yeah. So he's going to be buying a lot of time. Eventually, he's going to find a hole, whether it's with his legs or in the passing game. That's going to be our biggest struggle against us.
Okay.
All right. Let's go tier 1 now. Mo, you get to pick your contender again.
I will go with blessed.
Their polar opposite.
Trying to buy time. You see, you haven't learned the art of buying time.
Yeah.
So you got to continue. Well, you know what? The polar opposite of who they are. I just try and buy time for the screen because you want dead silent.
Or talk
Yeah.
yourself into it.
Yeah,
you-
Talk about
you-
what's good about
yeah,
them so
yeah,
you can
you
figure out what
radio
to buy
silence.
time.
Yeah, you know.
Radio silence is
Yeah,
a killer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Give me.
you know, just ad
Give
lib
me,
over there.
give me Urgence Medzik for the polar opposite of Blessed. Well, the one thing that they have over Blessed is size. They can just box the smaller, not smaller in length, but smaller in width players of Blessed. For the reason of size, I will give you Urgence Medzik.
All right.
Tier 2. Mo, pick your contender.
Well, as I look at for tier 2 right now, see, I'm trying to buy time as this thing's loading up
Mhm.
here for tier 2, which is a very good division, by the way. A
I
lot of
love
teams.
tier 2.
Tier two has a lot of teams lined up here. So I will go with Mean Machine.
They don't. Oh, you chose the hardest one.
Of
because
course.
They don't,
That's more of a bleep you to you. Welcome to the show.
yeah,
you know?
because they don't have much of a weakness in tier 2 at least. Give me a rolling chocolate thunder, a team when they're on top of their game. The deep ball from Joe Cano to Tim Horner, the deep ball to Nicky Papic is something that not one team, maybe Ravens, but something that a team like Mean Machine cannot cover. So give me Chocolate Thunder, Joe
All right.
Cano.
And tier 3, because there are so many teams, we're going to go do 2 of them. Mo,
Okay.
you're going to pick the first one, and then Iggy, you get to pick a team for Mo after that.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Okay.
Lockdown. So they're polar opposite. With a new quarterback, who's one of the better rushers? I need a team with a very good rusher. Post Malone's Knights. Max Ledoux on my team. That's the team I'm quarterbacking. Not for my reasons, or my skills, but for Max Ledoux's skills will be my choice. Mo, I finally get to turn the tables on you. Give me a team who have Warriors' number.
I will go with. Hold on here. Let me get this lined up here as I look it up.
They struggled against Tim Brandy.
Yes,
struggled, but they still won.
So in reaction to your answer, your question that you posed me, 7th rounders. Jafar Hassan has a team that's worked out very well in terms of the layout of what the roster is.
Mm-hmm.
Their quarterback play with Julian Chaib, who had 4 touchdowns, 184 yards passing. He's going to learn how to get better at that quarterback position. Their defense is very lights out. They can cover a lot of blades of grass on the turf. And last but not least, their offense, their receiving core, very balanced attack here. That can definitely win it in different shapes or forms of how they approach a game here. So give me 7th rounders.
Okay.
And that's going to be polar opposites for this week. You know what that means, Mo?
It is now time for
Games of the Week.
It's a really pitiful Games of the Week hype here. Let's try this again. It is now time for
Games of the Week.
All right. It sounds like his voice is cracking over there. Okay, here we go.
I don't have time to think about my picks.
You do not. You have to just pick.
One
The
word
pressure
answers.
is on, all right? And we have
Here
to
we
finish it before the song finishes, too. Which is also
I think we'll do it this time because you're keeping the same song as last time, right? I love this one. This was a good one.
We're going to start with Tier 1. We have Mangoose versus the Apocalypse.
Mangoose.
Urgence Médic versus Blessed.
Blessed.
And KGP versus EZW, Battle of the Acronyms.
KGP.
Tier 2, Pincello's Ravens, a rematch of the finals.
Ravens.
Pincellos.
Unexpected Diablos, Santal.
Santal.
Hot Sauce Sports, Team Ethnic.
Hot Sauce Sports by 50. Hot Sauce. Ooh, I don't know who their quarterback is. Team Ethnic.
Los Siete Amigos, Glow Gang.
LSA.
Grim Reapers, KGP, Raw.
KGP Raw.
Mean Machine, Chocolate Thunder.
Mean Machine.
Bruins, Tough Lungs.
That's a good one.
Lungs.
Bruins.
All right. Tier 3, The Stormers, Save a Horse.
Stormers.
Save a Horse. That's the team I played, and they were pretty good.
Tim Brandy, Post Malone's Knights.
Randy.
Post Malone's Knights by 60.
Ooh, 60.
That's my team. I can't pick.
A doubleheader for Save a Horse as they take on Demons.
Save a Horse times 2.
Yeah, Save a Horse. I'll go with them.
Trailer Park Boys, Pardon My Swag.
PMS.
Yeah, PMS.
The Penetrators, Lockdown.
You're going to lock down the penetration.
Toon Squad, The West Yard.
Toon Squad.
The West Yard.
2 Inches Gang, Free Agent Squad.
Free Agent Squad.
Free Agent Squad.
Lionhearts, FSU.
FSU.
Fighting Cones, Killer Rays.
Give me the cones.
Rays.
7th Rounders, Lockdown.
7th rounders.
7th Rounders.
And Save the Turftles, Warriors.
Warriors.
And finally, 2 games in co-ed this upcoming Sunday. We have La Secte versus The Rock.
The Rock.
And our other game is going to be Easy Fun versus Yin and Yang.
Easy Fun.
Yeah, Easy Fun.
And that's going to be it for our games of the week. We actually finished before the music ended, so I'm just going to buy a little bit of time and just say some words here.
Well, what we can do is, in the meantime, Mo Khan.
Call Leo Gervais.
Oh, let me try him again.
Okay, we'll try him again. But Mo Khan, you had the game, the week 1 game picks. You were the winner.
Thank you.
For week
That's
1,
how I
you're in the lead. We had actually a few different picks right now, so things could shift
Someone's
into
going to pull
week
away
2.
from someone.
Yeah, hopefully it's me. And as let's see if we get a hold of Leo here.
This is riveting television.
It is awesome television right now. We're waiting for Leo Gervais to pick up his phone, which clearly he isn't because he is somewhere busy.
You have reached the voicemail.
No.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So again, week 1 in the books. Don't forget, week 2 uniforms are in full enforcement, unless you're still waiting for uniforms from Sportier or from your supplier. And also, don't forget, guys, you get your flag belts from us, and just follow league protocols. Eagle, anything else to wrap it up here?
I think the I think. I'm not sure because I haven't got the official announcement yet. But usually week 2 is picture week.
Yes.
Right.
So get your haircuts done, get all stylish, make sure your jerseys are in if you get a chance. You'll be doing a team picture before your game, hopefully, so try and get there a little bit earlier so our photographer is ready for you. And if you either don't have an individual player profile picture or you want to retake one because you took it years ago and it needs to be updated, get to do that in this week as well. And then we put them on the website nice and pretty. And next episode, we're going to critique how they turned out. So try and impress us. Give us a little bit of the pizzazz, as they would call it, and try and let Mo like you.
I know it's the outro music, but I have one little announcement, the surprise announcement. We're going to change the game picks a little differently this year.
Oh, boy.
So
Screw Mocon. Here we go.
So we do the normal media pick one that we just did here. We track that and then see who wins at the end of the year. But no one really gets involved outside of us. So this year, I've taken the initiative to get the community a bit more involved. There's a few notes to how it works. So we are going to pick one game from each tier played on Sunday nights that will be selected by the FPF community as voted on Instagram. I'm going to be posting those at 6:45 p.m. on Saturdays till 6:45 p.m. on Sundays, and the FPF community will vote on which team they will believe the game will win that the game is posted. Now, while individuals vote, of course, it gives you a percentage of which team has the most votes.
Yeah.
So that will be selected as the FPF community pick. The FPF staff of Alexi Dubois, myself, Pease, Mo, and Eagle will have one consensus vote that's going to go up against the FPF community. If, at the end of the 8-week regular season, the FPF community has more correct game picks than the FPF staff, then a $50 FPF credit will be awarded to 2 unique members of the FPF community who participated in the voting process. We're going to be doing that with a live random draw here on Calling the Audible. I probably won't be here, but whatever.
I'll bring you in.
Yeah.
I'll win $50, no worries.
So now, just one note of eligibility, all of this information I'll post in my article. But to be eligible for one of the 2 FPF credits, a player must have voted in at least 4 different weeks of the FPF Cup season. So I'm going to be tracking that. Make sure you get your votes in every week. And note, a player can only win one of the 2 $50 FPF credits, just to let everyone know.
All right.
Don't sabotage us, Mo. I know you're bad at this.
I know, I will. All right. Magic words, please.
Thank you all for letting us be ourselves. Pease would want me to say that. From all of us here at the We Extra Point Live.
Good night, Gwinnett, Georgia.
That is a nice place.